All right, so here's another one on 2388 combine. This here is your hydro control shaft up on the side of your hydro. It's really, really common for these to start leaking around these shafts here and just boil oil out all over the side of the machine. And another thing that's really common is, if I can get it turned around here, this here is your neutral start switch. On these 23s, if you ever get into a crank no start and it's equipped with one of these screwed into the back of the hydro here, get up there and screw this out about 3 or 4 turns. What you'll find is that the pin in here will lock up on that ball and it won't allow this neutral start to move, and then it will not allow that switch to close and you won't be able to start the combine. Sometimes you'll get a scenario where you just wiggle it a little bit and then it'll take off, and it just gets worse and worse. But yeah, you can take this apart, take the roll pin out or the set screw out, take this apart and free up this pin and the spring in there and make this work again. That's another real common issue. But what we're here to talk about is the oil leaking from the hydro control shaft. You have to take this housing off of the side of the hydro, and it is simple as 6 bolts comes out the side there. This lever here is just slipped over another arm. You got to make sure that it points forward when it goes in. It's not a big deal. When you get that off, you're going to pull this arm off, mark the position or double check that you're neutral when you got it back. You're going to take this switch out here. Then you're going to line this up just right. You're going to pull this set screw out. This set screw is not tight. It's just flush. It's shaped just like this little set screw right here. It just simply keeps that shaft from floating in and out. But if you stick a roll pin punch in through here, you can drive that roll pin just barely past this arm. It'll basically come in contact, and then you can rotate this arm over and get that roll pin to cock over and come out. Then you're going to slide your shaft out. In there, what you're going to have is this shaft. It has a little O-ring on it. That O-ring's going to be hard, and then there's a dust seal up here at the top. Here's the old one I pulled out. You're going to pull out that seal. You're going to pull out this shaft, and then Case sells this as a kit. Here's the part number right there, 197-8048C3. It comes as a Eaton Vickers kit. There's the Eaton Vickers number, 990-542-000. That kit includes everything you need. It includes the gasket. It comes with a new set screw. It comes with a new shaft, an O-ring, and the seal. You can get in there and sometimes just put this O-ring in, but you need the gasket in order to seal this back up, because you cannot use RTV on it. If you block this little hole right here with just the slightest little goober of anything, that your combine won't go in reverse after you put this thing together. That's another thing. If you put it back together and it don't go in reverse, you've got something blocking that little bitty weep hole there. Don't ask me how I know, because it's a long story. So then you get this. You get this whole control shaft, because almost always it's all rusted up around here. The seal, the dust seal up here is leaking and crusted and corroded and got the guts ripped out of it. And not to mention, by the time you get that little gasket and the O-ring and whatnot, and you go through the labor to do this, it's you're about another $20 and you get the whole thing, new shaft and all. So it's just not worth the effort to do it half-assed. Just do it right the first time and be done with it. But put a new shaft in, put this all back together. When you pull this off, if it's still on the combine, you are going to make a mess. You're going to lose about 5 or 6 gallons. It's going to drain the hydro out from the top side. So you want to have a pan underneath it. You want to be ready for that. But after we get this all sealed up here, I'm going to put the arm back on it, screw the switch back in it after I free the pin up, bolt it back to the side of the hydro, and boom, we're done.